iPod. 1, 2. Okay, so it's an iPod. Did I just dump that? No. Okay. And I'm filming this video again. No. Before we get to this video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. If you do go on to join this video, that'd be great. Thanks. Bye. Every year, this came out in 2019, which means every year this thing is slowly getting older, which means as it progresses, as that chipset gets older, and as I continue to use this thing, its battery life will slowly begin to falter, and that means the brightness you need to come way down. As I use this thing more, its battery life starts to drop, and its chipset and performance starts to become less and less. And so I want to just talk about this thing and say, is it worth it in 2021? Now, in my personal opinion, yes, but it's getting close to not being. So basically, I can't really justify if you buy a brand new one in 2021 too, because I've had mine since 2020, July, which means it's decently old. And as you can see, for some dumb reason, it won't let me see battery life on this, which means I have no idea what this thing is, but I daily drove this as an actual phone for a couple weeks, like a while back when my phone broke. And so basically what I'm saying is this thing has had a lot of use, but I genuinely just have to say that as a total, buying this in 2022, I still think that it's pretty worth it, but it is getting close to being an out-of-date thing. It still has the latest updates, it still gets updates, and it still runs pretty good, but that screen, ugh, look at it, just, that's pretty bad. And its camera isn't much better. Its camera is 1080p, but it is very, you can see that it's not like high of quality anymore. In fact, here, I'll give you a demonstration. I'm gonna film the same thing on this phone and the same thing on this phone, iPod, and you're gonna see the difference. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think you can subtly see a difference with this thing. If you want to get just like a nice feel for what this what an iPhone feels like, then yeah, I would say this is still good. It still is a great music player, great running through social media player, and it is actually good still for listening to music because it has a headphone jack, lightning port, and gets modern updates. Don't use that speaker, it sucks. But the main thing is that also I've used this as a secondary camera before too. It's in the right lighting conditions, it looks okay, but it struggles. It struggles with editing video. It really does not like editing video, and there's a lot of things this does not like doing. So overall, I'd say that mine, one, is a couple years old, so the battery life isn't so great anymore, which means this has pretty pathetic battery life. If you're playing a game, it'll drain the battery on this really fast. In fact, okay, it is still at 100. But another thing is that could just be mine, because mine is a couple years old. I'm sure if you get a new one of these, the battery will last a little bit longer. But just understand, even on the box, this doesn't have a great battery. It's an okay battery. It's nothing extremely special. It still feels high quality. I mean, it's Apple. It feels high quality. But overall, I'd have to say, it is still worth it. But if last year I say, yeah, it's definitely still worth it, you should definitely go and buy this, I'd say, be a little bit more cautious, but still buy it. Just know that it's getting towards the end of its running life, because this technology keeps continuing to improve. The chipset inside isn't terrible. I think it's the same as the iPhone 11. Might be the 10, I'm not sure. But either way, the chipset inside is still completely fine. It's just the hardware, the screen, the hardware, the screen, the camera, everything is slowly you can tell that it's starting to get outdated. If it was outdated in 2019 or wasn't great in 2019, it's definitely not great now. But it's still good enough that if you want a cheap Apple device, get this. This thing is still genuinely good, and I can still definitely recommend it in 2022. But it's Apple, update this thing. Apple should really update this soon, because soon, especially like within the next couple years, this is not going to be worth it. And I think I might start saying, you might want to not buy this. But for now, I totally still rate it. I've been using it since 2020. It hasn't really let me down. I mean, it worked even as a phone. It has FaceTime and all that stuff. So overall, it is definitely pretty good. Has some problems here and there. Definitely as it's getting older. But who knows? That could just be mine because mine is older. Now, the last thing I want to do was a front-facing thing. So if we just look at the front-facing camera, it's not much better. But until next time, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and also see you next time.